everyone, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Liam. I'm Ryan.
I'm Pauline.
And we're Mitches on the Horizon, and today we're at Legoland. Woo! In today's video, we're going to cover off whether we thought Legoland Malaysia was worth it, but also watch to the very end because I also cover off why it may not be worth it for everyone. If you're discovering us for the first time, we're a digital nomad family having all kinds of adventures in Southeast Asia. And if you want to catch more videos on traveling as a family, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. You were probably like us before we decided to go to Legoland, watching lots of YouTube videos, you're deciding whether to come over from Singapore for a day trip or somewhere else in Malaysia or JB or from overseas, deciding whether you want to add Legoland Malaysia to your stops. And I think if you're trying to decide whether Legoland Malaysia should be on the stop or should be part of your trip, let me put this to you. So for us, we are a family of 4. There are 2 adults and 2 children. Our boys are 6 and 7. Was Legoland Malaysia worth it for us? 100%, 1000%. It was one of the best days we've ever had. But I want to put a really big asterisk next to that, and I'll cover that off in a second. Right now, I want to cover off some of the things I really liked about Legoland Malaysia. I think the price is a big positive. Obviously, it's a cheap park relative to international theme parks all over the world. And it's an international theme park by any standard. It's very clean. It has a lot of amazing rides, and it has a lot of variety to the rides. And the Lego theming is absolutely fantastic. What I really liked about this park is you would look in bushes and see little Lego butterflies or bees flying around. The amount of detail they've gone to make it feel like a Lego playground and a Lego world is spot on, and it was really good. I also think going earlier in the week made a big difference as well. I was talking to a lot of the guides because quite frankly, there was no one there. There was like 300 people in the whole park, and I asked a few of the guys that were operating the rides why it was so quiet. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was, post-COVID and the borders were just opening up. But they said that during the week, the first 3-4 days of the week are the best times to come. If you come on the weekend, there's going to be 2, 3, 4,000 people at that park. That made a big difference to us enjoying it because we were able to get on rides, jump straight off, go around, jump straight back on. And I think this is why we had such a great time at Legoland Malaysia, because quite frankly, there's not many thrill rides. So the thrill rides that were there, we were able to ride them 3, 4, 5 times because quite frankly there was no lines, so we would just go around. I think if there was big lines for the big thrill rides, we would have been spending a big chunk of our time waiting in lines, and there's just not enough thrill rides to spread the people out enough. And this leads me to my big asterisk that I was talking about earlier. I feel that Legoland Malaysia is built for a very specific age group. I think if you come over here thinking it's going to be a Universal Studios Singapore but just cheaper, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed, to be honest. Not on the younger end though. I think if your kids are over the age of say 4 or 5 or over 107 centimeters tall, which is like the minimum height for most rides, you are going to have an absolutely amazing time. And I would argue a better time than Universal Studios Singapore, just because of the sheer amount of things to do as a kid at Legoland Malaysia. If your kids are over the age of say 14, I really think they're going to struggle to have a good time here. Of course, there is things that they can do like the roller coasters and the Technic ride and things like that, but there's not many thrill rides. I just struggle to see how a 14 or a 16-year-old is going to enjoy sitting there building a Lego car surrounded by 6-year-old. Now, as an adult, it's perfectly fine and enjoyable to do because you're there having fun with kids that are really enjoying it. But as a 16-year-old, I just can't see them doing the Duplo Park. The only things they're really going to want to do are the roller coasters and the thrill rides, and there's just not that many. Of course, Lego can be enjoyed by everyone, and I'd love to hear your comments on this, but I think if your kids are over the age of 14, I don't know if I would take them to Legoland, especially if they've been to another major international theme park. They're probably going to come to Legoland and be quite disappointed. The water park is a different story, but Legoland Malaysia, the theme park, I don't think it's made for kids over the age of 14. So summing up, Legoland Malaysia was one of the best days we've ever had. There was a bunch of rides, the kids had a great time, we all love Lego, and it was a really good experience. And I think that's because our kids were the right age for the park. But if our kids were older, say 14, 15, 16, or were under the height of 107 centimeters, I don't think Legoland Malaysia would have been worth it for us. But that is just my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave them in the comments, and make sure to check out part 2 of this video where we go into the weeds a little bit more and go and look at the rides individually and show you the ones that we absolutely love. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all on the horizon.